What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 19 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, man?
We had our draft league finals, and I guess it's now, it'd be 2 weeks now, 2 weeks ago, and we had a nice little article written for us by one of our Discord members, Evan Smoke VGC. The champion Xenoverto, and I don't know if you know who Hakeem is.
The name didn't ring a bell when I first saw it, but I could be wrong, man.
They all kind of teamed up with. Evan wanted to play but didn't find out in time. He had already closed signups.
Gotcha.
And then Hakeem is like their testing partner.
Gotcha.
So Evan and Hakeem would test together and then send the teams off to Xeno to play them. So it's actually up to Xeno to play said team. Kind of like how you and I would plan our teams with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And whatnot. They kind of had the whole little brainchild thing. And we got a nice big old long article. Link to the article will be in the description. I've already posted it on Twitter.
I'm pretty sure I've shared it. Yeah, I'm sure I've shared it once or twice. It's a very good read. It is a very good understanding of how to succeed in limited formats like draft league.
Yep.
And not only that, but it also goes into talk about how you can grow as a player from a small pool event like this as well.
Oh yeah.
And I think those are the two big parts of this. It's just you're able to adapt, overcome, and be able to present, various information in a way to make yourself a better player.
Oh yeah.
So,
I can't stress this enough. The draft league makes so many people just it's fun. Two, it makes you a better player just in general because you have to learn. You get to plan more. It's more planning, more reason to do calculations, to do setups, which you can then take to your ranked ladder setups where you okay, well, I'm having a problem with this. How do I do this? And then what you learn from the draft league applies to that.
Yep. It's very, very good. I'm very excited to see where this goes.
Speaking of which, draft league number 2 starts. Signups ended the day where this episode comes live. The sign up ends at 5 p.m.
So if you are interested in getting in, spots are still available. Make sure you get a hold of Carl on Discord ASAP.
Yep.
This goes live Monday the 6th.
Yep.
So if you are listening on Monday and you haven't signed up and you were debating about playing, get in, play. It's a fun time. So highly, highly recommend.
So going through this nice little article here, they talk about what a draft league is, how it works, what's the whole rules set for this.
Which
we were pretty close to VGC formats to begin with.
Yeah, basic breakdown. We're playing best of 3 games, one match a week.
Yep.
We played 5 weeks plus a top 8. Swiss pairings. So you are limited to 10 Pokemon that you draft plus 3 roster switches. And the big thing here that they note is that your EVs and movesets can be tuned specifically for what you're playing against that week. Whereas in typical VGC fashion, you want to be your EVs and movesets need to be optimized for
a wider range of things.
Exactly. You are comparing 500 Mons.
Yep.
Compared to 10.
Yep.
So.
Which it helps. The whole draft league helps you get started in trying to learn how to be optimized. So then you can, and that's kind of what's cool about that. Also, only having to be prepared for 10 Pokemon versus the giant pool of Pokemon we have now. It's a little less daunting for newer players to kind of get their hands in, get it figured out, and try to figure out how to actually team build, which is a great team building exercise too.
It really is. It really, really is. So, jumping down here to talk about their drafting process.
Well, our drafting process.
I said there.
No. They're talking about how We did our draft.
Okay. I knew what I meant.
And then down here at the end...
Yeah, see, they talk about their specifics of what they
went for, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
whole
okay.
part here is just us.
Close enough. So, they said they had basically 3 primary guidelines that they wanted to follow. They wanted Fire, Water, Grass, and then the fantasy core of Fairy, Dragon, Steel.
Yep.
Makes perfect sense. Those are both very good cores that you're able to build around. Mm-hmm. Wanted to be able to have Tailwind, Trick Room, and other forms of speed control options. Again, this very, very wide range.
VGC stuff.
And it says here, particularly in VGC 20, a strong steel type and a strong ground type for defensive max moves. Again, makes perfect sense.
Just more actual standard team building stuff from what applies to ladder.
So it says here, there are 10 mons that they ended up with. Clefairy, specifically for Follow Me. Dracozolt, which has Hustle, and it's personal preference for them. It pairs well with Clefairy because Clefairy gets access to Gravity, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah.
Then Rotom, which has Levitate.
Specifically Rotom Wash.
Yeah, Rotom Wash, yeah. Start of the Fire, Water, Grass core, running that out because they drafted 10th, correct?
Yes,
so
they were the 10th spot.
They were on the no. We had 15 players, so they're in the middle. Okay, cool.
They're just past the middle. They're on the lower end on the first round, and then they're on the upper end on the second round.
Whereas I was on the corner, so I got 2 back-to-back picks.
Yeah.
So, next in round 4, they took Rillaboom for fake out support. Adds into their Fire, Water, Grass core as well. Bisharp adding in the Steel for their Dragon Fairy Steel.
Yep.
It also has Defiant, which is really, really important, and it's a very solid Steel type that allows for them to be able to not only take advantage of the fantasy core, but it also has just it punishes Intimidate abusers. It punishes all the stat dropping
max
moves. They then took Gengar in the next draft, which pairs really well next to Bisharp, which we've talked about multiple times on this show. It also is a very good form of speed control because it has access to Trick Room. So it felt good to have this at 6.
Yeah.
Rounding out the last 4 here, we have Cinderace to add into that Fire, Water, Grass core. So now that's complete as well. They said that there was not a lot of fire types left at this point, with the next best option being Cantonian Rapidash. Which if you to be fair, when we were drafting, I debated taking Rapidash, but then I'm just like, nah, give me Ninetales. This is way better.
Yeah, Ninetales was a much better option there.
Mamoswine having speed priority with Ice Shard also gives them a very good ground type for max moves.
Yeah.
They have Phalanx here, which they said in hindsight should have been a strong fairy for good move coverage and not really, really impactful for them.
I'm not sure what fairies would have been left at that point.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I would have to go back through.
A lot of the fairies that went fairly early.
A lot of the playable ones. Yeah, a lot of
I think even Aromatisse was gone already.
Oof.
At that point. So you're bottom of the barrel at that point, so I'm not sure exactly what fairy types were left.
And then rounding out at number 10, we have their Tailwind abuser. Well,
Tailwind setter.
Mantine.
Yeah.
Which we will talk about you and Mantine here.
I actually had 0 problems with Mantine. It's the Rillaboom I had problems with.
So, they rounded out their 10. It says, in addition, here are some other notable tools of importance that could also be considered, but not top priority for them. Weather setters and weather-based abilities. I agree with this point that weather setters are less important because of the max moves or being able to set weather or be able to change weather. So if you're trying to be a weather team, especially in a small format like this, it's very difficult, it feels like. Because so many things have,
They have random water or fire coverage to change weather, or random rock moves to change weather, or random ice move.
You can be attacked from a lot of different angles all at once.
Yeah.
Terrain setters here. It says initially we picked Rillaboom just because of grass typing and had access to Fake Out. But eventually the Series 4 rules adapted to have the hidden ability starters in them, which conveniently they had 2 of them.
Yeah.
Conveniently, they also got the 2 that actually benefit from hidden abilities.
Oh yeah.
So in hindsight, like sure, they just took generic mons in those slots. In reality, it kind of paid off for them in the long run because they were able to make a deep run and were able to eventually take advantage of having those hidden abilities play into it.
Yeah. Which we didn't know when we were getting the hidden ability starters at that point. When we
I legitimately figured they wouldn't come out until DLC, which, I mean, they basically did.
Yeah.
They came out before, but...
Just a little bit before, but it's fine. And then the last bullet point here is just, like, know your types, type immunities, things like that. Being able to, like, safely swap ghost types if you're afraid of a fighting type move, so having a ghost type and a normal type. Or a flying type for ground type moves if you have an electric type, things like that.
Notably, something that we kind of looked at really early on while we were drafting is like Prankster Mons went real quick.
Yeah, Prankster was very highly prioritized in this first draft.
So having access to Dark Mons to be able to ignore those Prankster abilities is like also just A+.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't learn until like beginning of 2020. So it's just like, man, this is actually really critically important. And I didn't realize this is a thing until now, basically.
Exactly. Let's see here. Like, they go through their immunity list here, like, moves that everyone's, like, all their mons are immune to.
I love how everything has some type of immunity, and then there's phalanx. Like, even if it's just something as simple as, like, the powder moves for Rillaboom. I mean, that's really important. Yeah. Having access to, like, being able to ignore Sleep Powder and Rage Powder is good. And for, like, Cinderace, having access to ignore Will-O-Wisp. Dracozolt being able to ignore Thunderwave. These are all really, really important.
Yeah. The next little block here is probably going to be the longest block, and it goes over how they set up their team planning for each week, which there's a whole spreadsheet for just top 8. There's a whole spreadsheet.
So, let alone, the other 5 rounds.
Yeah.
So, I'm assuming you're going to link that, just in case anyone wants to look at it.
It'll be down below somewhere.
Yeah, it's
I believe it's
absurd.
also linked in the article somewhere, but if you want to look at all of that info, you can.
It's a lot. It is absurd.
So they go over their list of mons here, every important tool that they have access to. So, like, for example, Clefairy here, they listed its type, what its base speed is, and then they listed out all of its important moves. Notably, Clefairy has Friend Guard, which is super duper good for double battles. It also has Follow Me and After You. Has access to both screens. Helping Hand. Notably, also has Icy Wind access. Can kind of be just like the pseudo speed control if you really want to run a move on it.
That's something I figured out actually this week watching James Speck. I don't know if you watched the video, but he had Marcos from Moxie Boosted on, and they played a match, a best of 3 match, and his Clefairy had Icy Wind. I didn't realize it even got access to it till this week, because there for quite a while, the standard like Clefairy set was just 4 status moves.
Yeah.
And if you ran one, it was like Moonblast. If you ran a damaging move, it was Moonblast. Having access to Icy Wind is real sweet. I actually think that's some real good, like playable tech that, I mean, is obviously widely played at this point that I didn't realize was, because Clefairy's kind of fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah. After listing all their tools, they would list down the weaknesses, resistances, and immunities, and make sure that, and they did a whole bunch of speed calcs. It's all down there below in the data sheet. The next step they would do is they would look at their opponent's 10 and try to figure out what's good against your opponent's team, what's good, like, what could they bring, what speed tiers are they in, which that gets a little bit more detailed than what you probably need to worry about for ladder. It's good to know, like, what speed.
Okay, this is specifically a draft league thing.
Yeah.
Like, being able to, like, even, like, playing on ladder.
Knowing Dragapult's got 142 base speed and is probably one of the fastest spawn in the game.
Yeah,
is probably a good thing to know on ladder.
Yeah, knowing that you need to be able to outspeed max speed Dragapult, which is 213. So being able to get to 214 with something like the Slush Rush Alolan Sand Slash team I was playing today. I wanted specifically to be able to get to 214 so I could outpace Dragapult and Oko it.
Yep.
That's something super simple.
Yep. Whereas for Draft League, you kind of need to just know all the speeds.
But specifically focus on those 10 for that week.
Yeah, well, no. That's what I'm saying. You need to know all those
gotcha.
for the week. You need to know all those. Instead of just like, Dragapult's the fastest. And this is the slowest. Like,
notably, on like my team, I had access to Vileplume, which has access to Chlorophyll, but is also good in Trick Room because its base speed is garbage. Yeah. So being able to know, hey, how slow can it be, but how fast can it actually go too?
Exactly.
Like those are things you need to be able to play around, especially when you're dealing with things that have access to not only like Tailwind, but also Trick Room and other like all these speed.
All the speed, because speed is actually really cool in this generation, and
being able to change it. Like, being able to change it on the fly is real important.
So they would go through and they would do their speed tiers, and they would tune their speed to stats accordingly, and then they would put the rest of the EVs into bulk, allowing their bonds to take more hits.
I mean, that itself makes sense. Like, if you know that you need to get to speed stat 115, and that's going to take, 60 EVs. Well, why would you play more than 60?
Exactly.
Yeah, just, max out your attack or whatever you're doing with it, and just play bulk. Yep. Like, make yourself as bulky as possible, because that gives you the longest ability to, like, be able to live.
Yep.
It makes perfect sense.
And then the last step on trying to figure out their opponent's teams is they build a couple teams. I don't know if you ever watched any of the replays of the like playtest matches that were in the giant data sheet. I went through and I watched all of mine. They had 0 things I actually brought.
See,
they had played Special Colossal. I brought Physical Colossal instead, so I could blow up Dracozolt. They did not expect that. I'm just like looking through it all. I'm just like, they actually they built weird teams out of what I had.
Well, that's like when the Hidden Ability Starters came out. That was the week I played Xeno. I'm just like, all right, I need to be able to outpace Cinderace, and I need to have an answer for Rillaboom. Okay, Choice Scarf Cloyster, A+. Let's lock it in. And then it didn't bring either of them. Just like, okay, so I have this now, and it doesn't do anything. The 2 months it was supposed to answer, neither of them showed up.
So yeah, that's kind of like a cool thing to just like think about. Is just like you may plan around, like this team may look good on paper, but your opponent may have an entirely different plan thought up that they're bringing. I know after my match with Xeno in Top Cut, he asked why I wasn't scared of Sucker Punch against my Dragapult. My Dragapult was straight support. Like, it was there to hit Surf, Dragon Darts, or Screens. That's
like,
it.
Sure, if you want to
sucker punch it, cool.
Whatever.
It's just there to scout. Now I know you have this, or now I know you have that. And that's how I played Dragapult, like, the past 3 weeks before that. Was just like, I just need to scout with Dragapult. Because everyone's playing Scarf.
Everyone brought Scarf to outpace the Dragapult.
So I'm just going to slap Scarf on my Dragapult. Like, no one's going to beat me now.
Like, all right, cool. You want to play this game? I'm going to be the fastest thing on the field.
Yep.
So notably, then the actual week prep, they went through and just eliminated what wasn't good. Like, based on the matchup, like, Xmon is not good. Obviously, we're not playing this week.
Yeah. And if Ymon needed Xmon to be good, then Ymon's probably not good either, and so on and so forth down the line.
And then it talks about like the prioritizing the tools. If they're based on, or like if they're based around Trick Room, you need to be able to deal with Trick Room.
Yeah.
You need an answer to it, or their gameplay centric strategy. Again, just reading this off the sheet. So sometimes we were able to identify the 2 best Pokemon they would lead to counter any combination of the 10 Mons that the opponent brings. Makes perfect sense. So, if they have Tyranitar Excadrill, well, we can find an answer for that. If they have, just basically saying, these Mons are good together, I am going to be able to do this, and it'll be fine against anything you do.
Yeah. Notably right now, it's like Cinderace Spice Shark.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Colossal.
Yep.
What's the other one? Right now, for Series 5, Indeedee Alakazam.
Bang.
That's what it is. Or like, what's the other one? Whimsicott, Rillaboom's the other one. I see a lot. Because they're both immune to Spore. You can set Tailwind after your min speed Rillaboom resets terrain. And,
that's adorable.
And you have fake out. You can fake out and protect on turn 1 if you need to protect your Whimsicott and just fake out the other Mon while they try to fake out your Whimsicott.
That's adorable.
So that's kind of like things like that. They know from here on out. I think the rest of it is just their matchups, which I don't know if we want to get into all of this because this is the main meat of the article, but it's a lot of just like little bits and bobs.
So I actually kind of want to notably let's see.
You want to touch on ours, or do you want to touch on all of them?
There's one I want to touch on besides ours, which mine you can go and watch the replay of it. I had a very
bad.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks because
a bad series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. But at the same time, they outplayed me every step of the way. I tried to recover from a mistake, and it just didn't matter because they were 3 steps ahead of me.
Yep.
So even had I not struggled, it would have not been. It still would have been a problem because they, the Chesto Berry on their Clefairy that week. Well, obviously I'm going to try to put it to sleep to stop them from doing their shenanigans. Well, Chesto Berry is a perfect answer to that. And they talked about when they played me, they had seen that I had been sleep powdering people with Vileplume the last couple weeks and hypnosising people with
Ninetales.
Thank you. It just dropped the ball, man. But they talk about how you're just able to notice, and this is kind of the downside of content creation. It's just people know what I'm doing. I don't know what people are doing.
Exactly.
So they talk about here how
we hadn't seen Xeno at all.
Yeah.
Up until top 8.
They talk about how being able to have access to deal with the sleep powder mode because they have Rillaboom who's immune to it. Yep. They had Max Lightning on Dracozold, so that stops it. They have Clefairy, which has Safeguard, which stops it. They had something. I can't remember what it was that they had, but they had something with safety goggles. I think it's Mamoswine they were talking
about. Mamoswine. Mamoswine would make the most sense to carry safety goggles at that point, or it could have been Phalanx.
No, Phalanx was Lumberry.
Oh.
Dedicated 3 items.
Which also stops sleep.
Yep. 3 items just for the threat of sleep. Safety goggles, Lumberry, and Chesto Berry, as well as Safeguard. So I'm assuming the Mamoswine had the safety goggles, which I never saw.
Yeah.
And I never saw the Mantine come out either. So it was, unfortunately I was busy doing commentary and lost track of time and didn't submit in time. So that got me. And then I want to say game 2 I just got beat up really bad too.
Probably. I believe that's how that worked. Is you just got blown out after you were kind of tilted after that, and you just kind of just they were just figured out the rest of your team. They had figured you out so well that you just got blown out the rest of the way.
Yep. It was okay. So they were talking about how Dracofish and Surfetched were the big problems for them, and I did not bring them. So I mean, yeah. Notably, I did try. I brought those against Raging in top 8.
Yep.
And man, I should have played them more. they were real good, man. Especially
I had just traded you Surfetched, I think that week too, or the week before.
I think so. And it was real cool because Choice Scarf. No, I was choice banned Dracovish. So that Surfetched could outspeed it. So then we get the max airstream boost, and then we just go turbo fast with real big fishes wrens. It was sweet. That was a fun match.
Going over what the rest of this here. Like you said, you relied a lot on sleep powder and just statusing people a lot of the times.
Which I mean, up to that point, it worked.
Yeah,
it worked week in and week out. Notably, the match against Uxie is a prime example of just how terrible this team is at just stopping your opponent from doing their thing. Just oh, nope, you're asleep. Nope, you're asleep. Well, now you're burnt. Now you're asleep again. I remember Uxie messaged me afterwards. She's like, dude, I was on the verge of just chucking my controller.
Going over mine was their first match at top 8, and I think I was probably the closest person to probably bringing them down outside of the finals match.
The finals match was real good too.
The finals match was really good. If you haven't watched it, it's on YouTube.
Highly recommend that one. It was a very, very good match that Carl and I both did commentary over. So you actually get to watch us talk about Pokemon more than just sitting and listening to us talk about Pokemon.
Exactly. Apparently, I had the most versatile team in the draft league. I didn't realize that I had done that.
Well, I think trading for Aegislash definitely helped.
Oh, getting Aegislash helped a ton. It completed my fantasy core on my team that I wanted to begin with. But I had to pick Lucario because you had just picked Aegislash.
Yep, I came in and sniped it out right under you.
And then it's okay, well, I got to pick up Lucario at this point, and I need to steel type, so I picked that one, which that gave me beat up strategies, which I wasn't really a fan of that anyway. Even though I knew most of the followed me, where it was going to be at, I wasn't really worried about beat up. They had a lot of just the bulky Leech Seed Rillaboom was the biggest problem for me, because if I didn't have Colossal to beat it up or Roserade to actually poison it beforehand, I couldn't actually get through it.
Were they substitute Leech Seed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Leftovers?
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, it was literally the bulkiest Rillaboom set.
Grassy Surge Leech Seed leftovers just, alright, we're gonna regain everything we just lost from this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Which game 1, that's literally why I lost to game 1. It was down to Rillaboom versus it was either Rillaboom versus Wartortle or Rillaboom versus
well, I feel like if
Mimikyu.
it's Wartortle, you lose.
They didn't have actual
damaging moves?
Yeah.
So it was just literally Leech Seed you to death.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's how I lost. I lost to Leech Seed.
Oh.
I think they had Fake Out, and I don't know if they had Grassy Glide. They didn't have Grassy Glide yet, so I don't know if they actually played a grass type damaging move.
Gotcha.
So it's it was Fake Out and then a bunch of these support stuff.
Just okay.
Protect, Substitute, Leech Seed, and I'm just okay.
Okay.
I now know that this can't actually deal damage to me. So Wartortle doesn't have a threat. Wartortle can sit there, and Wartortle actually did a lot game 2, being able to just sit there in front of Mantine, helping hand the rest of my team push damage through on their bulky bonds with Muddy Water. And like they said, the video showed, I got a 1v4 pretty much with Colossal because I held Colossal all the way to the end. and I got him to proc my steam engine for me, so then I could proc my own weakness policy with my Aquajet War Turtle and just
go to town.
Which I actually brought the entire Ghost trio as well because it's just like that's like a super strong core against their Dracozolt and Gengar and notably Mimikyu can hit Rotom Wash with Woodhammer, so I wasn't really worried about Rotom that much.
Does Roserade get Chlorophyll?
Natural Cure,
Poison Point,
and Technician.
Okay. That's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your list here, and I'm like, man, that's a grass type I have not played enough with.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
The reason it is the fastest sleep powder user, at the time it was the fastest sleep powder user that didn't need chlorophyll. But yeah, so they talked about like using Gengar to do Trick Room to try and get Colossal to be like the last mon now, which I figured that out like early game one. It's like, okay, I just don't proc my weakness policy. I make them do something to get there.
Make them deal with it before. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
And game 3 came down to a range on Sucker Punch.
And you lost.
Yep.
Yeah.
He rolled high. Like it was really fun. It was a lot of fun just playing against him because it was just like it kind of helped. We kind of helped each other learn like a little bit more and stuff. Yeah, like right there, the third bullet. they activated my weakness policy and steam engine all at the same time, and I'm just like, okay, go. Having physical Colossal there was actually really, really important.
Yeah, I know you talked about how they basically expected you to bring physical. No, special.
They expected Solar Beam, and I didn't bring Solar Beam. I brought Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Heat Crash, which Rock Slide is actually a more powerful Vocalith base damage.
Than Ancient Power, yeah.
By a little bit.
Well, Ancient Power also sucks, so...
Yeah, so
real glad we don't have to do that
having
anymore.
physical and being able to spread damage after Dynamax was super duper important to me. That's why I brought the physical Colossal that week. And having Earthquake on it as well, just the only thing I don't hit is Mantine and Rotom, but I'm not worried about hitting Mantine and Rotom with Earthquake to begin with. And then going through the rest of this, their top 4 match seemed pretty easy, I feel like.
Well, they had played Raging in Swiss as well.
Yeah, so they knew what to do.
So being able, it wouldn't have mattered who would have won between me and Raging. It would have been a rematch.
Yeah.
I would have liked the rematch. I would have liked to play you, but we both just kind of dropped the ball.
We can work on getting a exhibition match set up if people want to watch that.
The biggest problem is like I had to go back and like look at the spreadsheet to even see who I had at this point. And
yeah. Talking about the finals one and looking at their things. Remember that little bit where we wondered why they didn't do anything game 1?
Mm-hmm.
They timed out.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. Why we wondered what in the world happened game 1, like, why did you just let Haxorus blow you up? They didn't get their moves selected.
Yeah, but notably, like they talk about here, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Because they got to hide all their tech.
Yeah! So, like, well, this didn't work out at all. But in reality, it's just like, oh, this is great.
I'm really surprised that they didn't bring, that Jiggly Dreams didn't bring Lapras that week.
Same.
I feel like Lapras, outside of being bad against Dracozolt, would have been really good against the rest of their team.
I would have liked to see Lapras over, like, Aromatisse. Because it really doesn't... granted, they never brought it, but... If you want another, like, Trick Room abuser, like, Lapras is fine.
Yeah.
Especially... I just realized we can breed for, like, min speed Lapras and still have a Gigantamax. It's like, oh, this is stuff I haven't messed with yet.
Yeah, we could actually like do min speed lappers things, min speed Gigantamax like Machamp, and all that other fun stuff. You can actually have a Trick Room Machamp now, which is really cool.
That is really cool. That might be no, because you want no guard on him.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm like that might be one I had to pull out Let's Go to go shiny hunt for too, but
you want no guard. Do not get the hidden ability. It's not worth it.
oh wait, it's not hidden ability? No guard's not hidden ability?
No guard's a regular ability.
I did not know that. Ooh. Might have to go get me another Incredible Hulk. Because mine is hidden ability and is real bad.
Rest of this is just final thoughts, shout outs. They gave us our shout out there, our Discord links in that article.
Which is also down in the show notes if you want to go join. Highly recommend it.
Which I'm excited for the next one to start.
Same.
I'm chopping at the bit. I gotta go out and do all the contacts and get the emails and get everybody in the
get everyone in the spreadsheet.
Yep, I have 14 players currently after Kaizen had to drop out and another player just disappeared. So
yeah, I would like to get to if we can get to 16. I think 16 would be great.
Yep, 16 would be the perfect number. If we can do like 20 would also be fine. 32 would be a lot.
32 would be a ton.
I would think we'd have to have like another like 2 people to like help manage that.
Yeah. I think that's at that point it's just like, all right, I think we're gonna have 2 and they're gonna play in like the finals and it's I'm not about that right now.
I mean, 10-man pods, 2 10-man pods of 10. And it's like just like they would do. How many rounds of Swiss would that be? That'd be.
Well, if we get to 32, I would do 2 16-man.
I'm just talking like starting at 20.
Oh,
because at 20 that gets a little bit much to begin with for just Swiss in general.
See, that's 200 played Mons. Man, at that point you're getting some stuff that is not great.
Yeah, you're getting some bottom of the barrel. For sure.
I mean, to be fair...
Granted, we just got Isle of Armor.
I was going to say, to be fair, someone brought Charmeleon week 1. So... and I did say I was never going to drop it, and it sat on the bench the rest of the season.
You ready to talk about some Series 5 teams?
Oh, for sure, man.
So, we talked about what the meta was going to look like last week. This week, we got a decent look at like what these teams actually
look like.
Like with these like meta picks. This first one up here being the Psychic Spam, Indeedee, Alakazam, and Starmie.
So, Analytic, Expanding Force, Expert Belt, Starmie. I'm sure this thing hits like a truck.
Oh, yeah. The question is it going to get hit before it gets to hit?
Yeah. Probably. Especially if it's analytic. Like, you want to go slow. So, how fast is Starmie?
It's not slow by any means. I think it's somewhere in the 50-60 range. The rest of this team is kind of cool. There's a Volcarona with a Pasho Berry. There's Hitmontop with Wide Guard.
So this is actually really close to the Hitmontop set I was playing with on Rain. I was not using close combat, instead I had Mach Punch. And just pure priority moves. Just fake out Mach Punch, Wide Guard, and Sucker Punch.
So Indeedee was the bane of your existence.
Oh yeah, we were real bad. But because I would still bring it against Psychic Spam, because you just click Wide Guard every turn.
Yeah.
And they just can't attack you.
And the last mon on this team would be Obstagoon, which is their Defiant mon of choice.
I probably would rather just have Bisharp. I could also see bringing Braviary in that spot so we can have Tailwind too.
Yeah. Maybe they really liked Obstagoon.
True. I've seen crazier. Short Scarf Obstagoon is going to go real fast.
Yeah, it's going to go real fast and hit hard.
Real hard.
The Alakazam set is kind of cool. Expanding Force, Nasty Plot, Dazzling Gleam, Protect. Being able to run Nasty Plot on your Alakazam and hope it survives is...
That's my biggest problem with Alakazam. I started playing Psychic Spam with Hail today, and my biggest problem with Alakazam, because I've tried Psychic Spam Alakazam, he just gets blown up.
Oh yeah, his bulk is
he's real not bulky. He dies to a ham sandwich, man.
I have Bullet Punch for when I get my. I have Bullet Punch for when on my Sizer for when I get the terrain reset to grass, or I have Night Slash to just smack it and watch it go away.
I've been playing Reuniclus in that spot instead because it does the same thing except it's way bulkier.
Yeah.
It also gives you a slow mode if you need like Trick Room support.
Yeah.
I've been very impressed with Reuniclus in that spot instead of Alakazam. It hits basically just as hard because you both have Magikarp Life Orb, and I really like Reuniclus's like his move pool because he gets access to Flash Cannon, so he gets Max Steel Spike if you need to go big. And he can target down like Wide Guard Hitmontop if you need to. Like he can actually deal damage compared to Alakazam, which has Expanding Force and Dazzling Gleam. The Alakazam I was playing, instead of Nasty Plot, I had I think Energy Ball in that spot.
I'll say it's probably either Energy Ball or Focus Blast.
I definitely ran Focus Blast because Incineroar was such a problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, like, I'm purposely not playing it on Reuniclus because I don't really have a, like, once I Dynamax, I don't have a physical Mon to pair next to it. It's like, having Max Knuckle doesn't actually do me any good. And if I need to be able to deal with the Dark types, like Incineroar, I want the Dynamax so I can take a hit if I have to.
Yeah. Granted, this team is from the Streamers Cup that Eeks TV hosted over the weekend, this past week, like 2 weekends ago now. It was a lot of... I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, but a lot of the teams got posted on Twitter, and that's why I was just like...
I'm just taking these,
I'm just gonna borrow these images, and they were posted on Twitter, so they're like in the ambiguity of fair use and available to the public. So
I really like specifically like this team. You can lead like Volcarona, Alakazam, and Rage Powder plus Nasty Plot. Volcarona dies again to a ham sandwich, so you then get to bring in Indeedee and just bang. Yeah. Notably, their Indeedee here is playing Psychic instead of Expanding Force.
Yeah. Gotta be, like you said, Wide Guard is a problem. Gotta be able to hit your Wide Guard. So being able to just go Expanding Force, Psychic, your Hitmontop, pick up the Hitmontop, helps out a ton. Or
which,
like
that lines up better if you're playing Reuniclus because you're slower than your Indeedee then.
Yeah.
Just saying, man, Alakazam's not been great.
It
does one thing very good, and it's blow things up, but if it lives, you're so dead.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I don't expect Expanding Force Psychic Terrain to be very popular for very long anymore. It's kind of running its course.
Yeah, I think people have realized, hey, this is a new toy I get to play with. And it's a lot of that, new toy syndrome, where it's just like, I want to play with everything, and this is the big thing that everyone has latched onto this week.
Yeah, because it deals with both Mons on the side of the field very quickly, especially if both your Mons are... Especially with the Mon that sets up Psychic Search actually learns it. That's
the fact that Indeedee gets it is just like, this is stupid.
Yeah, I feel like Pokemon should not have let Indeedee learn it. Or, like, limit it to, like... maybe just the male version getting it and let the female not have it.
I think that would have been fine if the male version also didn't get Psychic Terrain. Like,
the male version is strictly worse as a support mon than the female version.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like when you see the male version, you know it's going to either be a Trick Room or it's actually like a fake out mon, like most of the time. Whereas Indeedee female, you know it's got the support pull, but you don't know what the support moves are. And now that it has access to Expanding Force, so Indeedee's just become the ultimate support mon.
It's like,
following Helping Hand, and then being able to hit both sides of the field with it just being on the field. There's no downside to this.
What do you think of this Pacho Berry on Volcarona?
What's the rock berry? Chardy? Is Chardy rock?
Shardy. It could also be Focus Sash. Because there's not a Sash on this team.
Yeah.
Which there's like 3 Mons that definitely could hold a Sash.
Yeah.
And not a single one of them is.
But yeah, this is what Psychic expect. This is kind of similar to what I would expect. I would expect Alakazam in DD, and then another Expanding Force user. Some kind of Intimidate, Fake Out support, a fast physical mon to deal with things that Alakazam does not like. In this case, Obstagoon. You could also be, like we said, Bisharp, Sucker Punch. You could do... you could do Dragapult in this slot because it also deals with the ghost types that Alakazam doesn't like.
Oh, so I'm looking up Starmie here. It has a base speed of 115. So I don't know why we have Analytic unless it just actually doesn't get anything better. It gets Illuminate and Natural Cure.
I know why it's Analytic. This is your anti-Trick Room one. If you're expecting Trick Room, you Starmie, and then Starmie will most likely move last.
That's 100% correct. That's exactly what it is.
It is bulky enough that it doesn't go down to any, like, it's bulky. I believe it's bulky enough to survive Marowak, which it hits super effectively. I don't think it goes down to anything Dragalge can throw at it, outside of maybe a weakness policy, max special attack Thunder, or max lightning, probably.
Did you know Starmie gets Meteor Beam?
Yeah. It's not very good, but you get Meteor Beam.
No, you Power Herb it.
Yeah, but it's an Expert Belt.
Have a Power Herb.
But Expert Belt.
Bang!
One time, you get to go bang.
Yeah, and then you click Expanding Force. Because now we're +1 special attack.
This Volcarona slot, I believe, is just like a target on, like, just like, look at me.
Yeah, that's what this feels like.
This could probably be a Mungus as well, and probably be just fine.
I actually like a Mungus way better in that spot, if you want me to be 100% honest.
Yeah. They may have needed flying coverage for, like, something weird. They do have a lot of Pokemons that Bug likes to beat up on.
If we switch to a Mungus, and then we can trade, like I said, the Obstagoon out for Braviary.
We got that problem solved.
Yeah, I think those 2 swaps I could get down with.
Yeah. Next team here is another style of Psychic Spam. This time, no Alakazam. Because we also have Electric Terrain.
Because we're going turbo fast with this Raichu.
Yeah. So Raichu, Alolan Raichu got the fun end of the stick in Rising Voltage and Expanding Force.
See, this is one I have not got to play with yet, and I really, really want to, and this is probably the team I'm going to mess around with.
I have a very janky team that uses Lapras as my terrain setter. And Raichu is the payoff.
Oh.
I get to set screens. I can change to whatever terrain I want, whether I want Psychic or Electric.
Because it has
access to both. And then Raichu comes out and either Expanding Forces or Rising Voltages, depending on which one's better.
Depending on which terrain you set.
Yeah, well, I usually will figure it out. That's the last turn I use. Usually turn 1 is either set rain or set screens. Turn 2 is whatever one I didn't do of that. And then the third one is, what terrain is better here? Oh, let's throw down Electric Terrain. Okay, Raichu. 140 this dude.
Good lord.
This team also has Volcarona on it, which this one I like a little bit better than the last one, but we don't have Hurricane on this one. Instead, we have Giga Drain and Bug Buzz.
Notably, it's Chardy Berry. Strict upgrade.
This is Ashton Cox's team.
We also don't have a Focus Sash. I could definitely see this Volcarona carrying it.
Yeah. Going, just press Quiver Dance, get down to Sash, hope you're faster than everything else, blow it up.
Oh, basically after one Quiver Dance, you outpace everything.
Should.
Is there a way to trigger our own policy outside of ice punching off of Urshifu?
I hadn't got to that point yet. I hadn't seen which Urshifu it was.
Oh yeah, we are Choice Band Ice Punch Urshifu.
Huh.
We're going to hit like a truck if we're triggering our policy.
Yeah, we will.
Like, I'm not going to lie, Dragapult might actually die.
Just a little bit. Looking at this Indeedee has Expanding Force, but it also has Light Screen instead of Protect.
Light Screen's really interesting.
Notably, it helps against opposing Expanding Force.
Can you have Veil plus Light Screen up? Or does it count as both?
I think Veil overrides Light Screen. I'm not quite sure. We can look it up real quick.
Because I'm playing with Alolan Ninetales, so I really want to go like Veil plus Light Screen and just like, I am taking 0 damage.
It does. They do stack. Apparently 3 years ago. I don't know if they fixed that since then, but when it came out originally, they did stack.
Interesting. I might have to try this out just to test it.
Okay.
I don't think it does anymore. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they see Aurora Veil as both sets of screens.
And like I said on the last team, in that dark spot where you needed to deal with ghost types, Dragapult also fits in that slot, being just a fast mon that can deal with opposing ghosts. Dragapult is on this team as your go fast mode with weakness policy. Yeah, this team's what I would expect, like, any kind of electric surge team to be like.
Man, I really want to try this out.
Well,
because this is a Raichu team if I've ever seen
luckily
one.
for you, there's this rental code right here.
Thank you, Ashton.
Next team is something we didn't really touch on too much last week. Porygon Z.
So this is actually pretty close to what James Beck was playing in that match I was talking about earlier. Was that on air? I know we talked about James Beck and Marcos playing, but I don't remember when we talked about that.
Just a little bit ago.
Sure. Dude, I've been here a few hours. I don't know. Time is
an illusion. I haven't even started dinner yet. We're recording super duper early. You have to excuse Carter.
I don't know where I am.
So Porygon Z, if you aren't aware, has adaptability. We get adaptability Hyper Beam.
It hits real hard.
Adaptability Max Strike.
Yeah.
Life Orb, Hyper Beam, Dark Pulse to hit ghost types, Thunderbolt for just coverage moves, and Protect.
Okay, so James' team is Rotom Wash, nope. Incineroar, nope.
Nope.
Clefairy,
yep.
Corviknight,
nope.
Okay, so we have Clefairy. But like that's the big thing he was doing is like Clefairy, Porygon Z.
Yeah, that's such a good lead. Clefairy being all support moves here as well. Follow Me helping in after you protect. Notably, After You is good when you're in Trick Room. Follow Me is good to just protect Porygon Z because you resist the fight. You resist the fighting type moves that come at you that are going at Porygon. Helping Hand to boost your adaptability Hyper Beam even more.
Yeah, it hits real hard. This is the set that James was playing with for sure. Hyper Beam, Dark Pulse, Thunderbolt.
And then in that last spot, you can run Protect if you want to run Mind Games. You can run, like you said earlier, Icy Wind if you want speed control.
He had Icy Wind on his Clefairy.
This one specifically is running Trick Room, so I don't expect to be running Icy Wind.
True.
This is where Male Indeedee is kind of cool because Male Indeedee gets Trick Room, also gets Imprison. This one has Dazzling Gleam and Expanding Force. Here's a cool trick. Indeedee boosts Draco-Vicious Psychic Fangs.
That's cute.
That is really cute.
So, this Draco-Vicious holding Mystic Water, I really want it to be Expert Belt.
Yeah.
Like, your Vicious Rend is already going to hit like a truck, so having that boost from Mystic Water may make a difference. I could be wrong.
It might help when you are against, say, like a Rillaboom or a Mon that is resistant to water.
Yeah, but like you're not going to be hitting it with Vicious Rend anyway at that point, I feel like.
You might
especially if it's Rillaboom, because they're gonna Grassy Glide you, so you don't get the boost for Vicious Rend at that point.
Yeah.
So just being able to Crunch or Psychic Feigns it instead, like you're not getting your boost either way.
Yep.
So I would take the one that's going to do more damage than the one that compared to the one that's resisted that's boosted.
Here's the coolest part of this team, though: this Talonflame.
This Talonflame is actually. I don't know if you watched Wolfie's video of like Mons that used to be really good but have fallen off the face of the earth.
I haven't gotten to watch that one yet, no.
Okay. He talks about Talonflames in it. Specifically with Tailwind and Quick Guard. Quick Guard is something that I have not seen in a hot minute. I actually really like it on this team.
It's
notably,
more fake out protection, right?
Yeah, like we have access to Psychic Surge and Grassy Surge. So what we can do is it kind of gets to do like the Serena impression, where you get to go like Rillaboom, Talonflame, Quick Guard against opposing Fake Out, but you get to Fake Out one of theirs instead. So it's kind of really cool, and then like the next turn you get to set up Tailwind, because hopefully Talonflame hasn't taken damage yet, and if it has, well, you're still very insanely fast.
Oh yeah, you're still probably the fastest thing on the field. Outside of Dragapult and Accelgor.
Technically, Accelgor is faster than Dragapult.
Is it good? No.
No, that's an Apollo-Sand I got beat up by earlier.
That's just the Palisand being good, not the Accelgor being good.
You're right, I actually beat the it.
But yeah, Porygon Z is something I expect to just like Porygon Z is like the peak Dynamax normal type now. I don't expect to see Snorlax much anymore.
So, I've been shiny hunting on Let's Go. One of them I'm going to end up hopefully getting is Porygon. And hopefully I can get two of them. So I can get Porygon 2 with moderately low speed and Porygon Z. I don't know how much time I'm going to invest into it, but I will report back next week, hopefully with 2 Porygons.
Yeah. This last team I have here, before we get into the teams from the Chicago VGC event, a team from the Chicago VGC event, is Battle Room's Trick Room team kind of thing. So Marowak has become probably the premier Trick Room user now.
So this team is real sweet. A lot of the Marowaks are like, I know you were playing it on Rain because it has access to Lightning Rod.
Yep.
This one has Rockhead, so it can Flare Blitz people
just forever.
And that is adorable.
I also like the Detect tech here. Because
it gets around Imprison,
exactly.
Imprison Protect, because it is, even though it's the same move, it gets around it.
Yep. Marowak here having Flare Blitz, Poltergeist, which is probably the strongest move in the game right now, next to Expanding Force, and Boomerang from its Kintonian form.
Well, it gets it from
it gets
it from Cubone, doesn't it?
Kinda.
Like Cubone can learn it and then evolve.
I think so. I'm not sure, but like having access to Boomerang is what makes the Marowak really good.
Like his 2 stab moves are good, but Boomerang is just like A+.
Yep, having access to Boomerang has been real good. Porygon 2 here is download EVLI, pretty standard for Porygon 2, running Ice Beam, Dry Attack, Recover, and Trick Room. Notably, pairing Porygon 2 next to a Rillaboom is almost a guaranteed Trick Room. It's pretty close. They either have to fake out your Rillaboom to prevent from getting faked out themselves, or if they attempt to fake out the Porygon, you can just do whatever, and then Rillaboom just Grassy Glides, knockoffs, U-turns, or fake outs the other mon while they're trying to double into Porygon 2. Terrakion, notably back to the... how far back was that? The episode where we talked about the new moves?
That was 2 or 3 weeks ago now.
Coaching on Terrakion.
Interesting.
I like it.
Keep going.
Rock Slide, close combat for stab moves, protect itself. Focus Sash, so it doesn't get L-code by Kingdra.
Yep. That's literally what it's there for.
Also, so it won't get L-code by Rillaboom. Gyarados, Assault Vest, Waterfall Bounce, Earthquake Power Whip. We talked about Rillaboom. This Rillaboom is running Rose Incense. I'm not sure what Rose Incense does for...
I think it's just Miracle Seed. I think it just boosts grass type moves.
Cool. And then weakness policy Duraludon. Notably, we can max Duraludon and Earthquake with Gyarados to proc our weakness policy if we absolutely have to.
Neat.
Draco Meteor, Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt, Protect. Yeah. This is kind of what I expect Trick Room to look like. Yeah, I expect Trick Room to look like this now. Where it's like Porygon 2, Marowak, Min-Speed Rillaboom to stop Psychic Terrain spam because that's annoying as hell for Trick Room to deal with. Good Steel-type Mon that's good in Trick Room, be it Duraludon or Ferroseed or anything like that. And then a couple Mons to help combat the hyper-offensive. In this case, it's the form of Gyarados and Terrakion.
Gyarados is... I love it, dude. I wish this is Moxie Dose, but I understand why.
Yeah, we have to have
Intimidate. You need that Intimidate support.
Yeah. This next team is one of the finalists from the Chicago VGC event, and this is Rain. This is hard Rain. With Porygon 2 as a Trick Room setter for Amoonguss.
Man, this team looks real familiar from what I've been playing with.
Yeah, it's pretty much what I've been playing with, except I'm playing Rillaboom as a Amoonguss slot, and then Sizer and Corviknight slot. Literally the only things I've been doing different. Politoed's Protect, Scald, Helping Hand, Perish Song. Pretty standard, running Citrus Berry, Drizzle. Kingdra's Life Orb, probably max special attack, max speed if that's the case. Protect Muddy Water, Draco Meteor, Hurricane. Running Lightning Rod, Marowak for electric protection. Protect Flare Blitz, Poltergeist, Boomerang. Porygon 2, download EVLite. Instead of Tri-Attack, they're running Thunderbolt this time, and then recover Ice Beam, Trick Room.
Yep, that Bolt Beam coverage is really critically important because off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that resists both of them.
Nope, nothing.
So you are always hitting something.
Yep, you're going to hit something. Amoonguss, Protect, Spore, Rage Fire, Sludge Bomb. I've been seeing Amoonguss's drop Protect for Pollen Puff.
I've seen a lot of Pollen Puff. So I feel like I bring up Marcos from Moxie Boosted like every week.
You do.
At least once.
Here lately you do.
Dude, his stuff is good. I highly recommend him. I've been watching him since he had like less than 1,000 subs, and it's been great to see him grow over the last couple years to where I think he's at like 12,000 subs now on YouTube or something. It's like very significant change from where I started watching him. But he had a game in the online tournament that was a couple weeks back, the big huge one, the International Challenge or something. Was there an IC the last couple weeks?
There was a friendly this past
weekend. That one. He had a game that he highlighted on YouTube where he won because he Dynamaxed Amoonguss.
Got to do that max Flutterby stuff.
It was adorable.
Let's lower your special attack and raise mine with my Maxus. Let's go. Last mon here is Corviknight, which is actually kind of decent with Trick Room setups, and also is just like good in rain for the most part. Being able to avoid its fire weakness is very decent.
Yep. It's the same idea behind us playing Scizor.
Yep.
Like you get to cut that fire weakness down, and you have your steel coverage, so like it's fine. Corviknight here, like Roost, Bulk Up, Iron Head, Brave Bird. Notably, also carries a safety goggle, so it can't be put to sleep. It's immune to Will-O-Wisp.
Yep. Is
that how safety goggles work?
You're not immune to Will-O-Wisp with safety goggles.
You're not? Okay. You're just immune to powder moves. Okay.
Rage Powder, Spore, Sleep Powder.
For some reason, I thought you got Will-O-Wisp too.
Will-O-Wisp isn't powder.
Close enough.
It's a fireball.
It's close enough.
Fireball at your face.
So rude.
But yeah, so this is something similar to what we've been playing with Rain. I have these two shiny, and I have Politoed Kingdra shiny. I have Sizer that's shiny. My Marowak I'm not even going to worry about.
Dude, that one, just because I don't want to have to play
Ultra Sun Ultra Moon. Trust me, I'm considering going back to playing Auras to get my Justice Trio instead of playing Ultra Sun Ultra Moon.
To be fair, that sounds way more enjoyable.
It will be.
If you need them, I have a second set.
I probably do need them, and I don't want to play Aura. I don't really want to play Aurus either. And we're on to our last team here, which didn't place anything, but all of our Discord users will be very excited to hear that we decided to talk about their team.
Dude, it's so weird. Our Discord is great, and I absolutely love all of them. But they attach to some of the weirdest things I have ever seen. And they just grow and grow and grow on it.
Yep.
Like
triple weather.
There was the Brion team a couple weeks back.
Yep.
And now there's this abomination that probably works somehow.
So Runerigus, for those that may not know, has very high base attack, very high base defense, terrible special attack, decent special defense, miserable speed, and decent HP for what it is. Ground Ghost, Weakness Policy, Wandering Spirit.
I have no idea what Wandering Spirit does.
So Wandering Spirit is kind of like Mummy. You know what Mummy does? On Coffergrease.
No.
Okay, so if you hit...
You're speaking Spanish to me right now, man.
If you hit Coffergrease, your ability becomes Mummy.
Okay.
If you hit Runerigus, your ability becomes Wandering Spirit. But Runerigus steals yours.
I see where this is going, and this is hilarious.
Okay, so... Earthquake, Shadow Claw, Body Press, Trigger.
This is adorable, and I love everything we're doing.
So, Azurill is our one that we're using to trigger this weakness policy. Focus Sash, huge power. Aquajet, Surf, Helping Hand, Light Screen. I don't know why we're running Surf and Aquajet. I guess we just needed another move.
It gets around Psychic Train.
Ah.
So you can...
Still proc your policy.
Yeah, you can do your colossal things in Psychic Train.
Notably, huge power on Azurill does not mean a lot because it has a miserable attack.
But you don't need it to
when you
because you're giving it to Runerigus.
When you give Runerigus huge power, that attack stat doubles for Runerigus. And then you're also proccing your policy.
This is adorable.
You're essentially, aren't you...
you're going +6.
+6, right? Just like immediately? Yeah. And part of it can't be taken away.
This is adorable.
The rest of this team is Indeedee Female with Eject Button, Psychic Surge for Expanding Force Shenanigans, Helping Hand, Follow Me, and Heal Pulse to act as like a pollen puff style thing for your Runerigus. G-Max Colossal, because why the heck not? We already have Aquajet and Surf on a very weak Pokemon that's not going to do a lot of damage to begin with. Let's get benefit from it, but because our weakness policy is gone, we are playing with Absorb Bulb.
You know, I can't say I know what Absorb Bulb does.
I believe it is when you're hit by a water type attack, your special attack goes up by 1 stage.
Sure, man.
I believe that is what it does. Someone double check me on that. Leave a comment. Heat Wave, Meteor Beam, because we don't have to play Ancient Power anymore.
Oh god, this game is adorable.
Solar Beam and Protect.
This Absorb Bulb, I really want to have Power Herb. So we can just like Meteor Beam or Solar Beam outside of Dynamaxing.
I mean, that's cute and all, but I'd rather have the buff because your special attack still isn't that high on Colossal, even if you max it out.
I don't know. I'm looking up Absorb Bulb real quick. I need to know what this does.
I believe it's +1 special attack when hit by water. It's either +1 special attack or +1 special defense.
It's special attack.
Okay. What's the one in special defense? It's Luminous Seed?
It's not Seed. Maybe it's
Luminous
Bulb.
something.
Nope, not Bulb. Moss.
Moss, that's what it is.
Luminous Moss.
That's the other water one, right?
Didn't know that was didn't know either of these items existed until today.
Well, now you do. Togekiss is our second Follow Me user. Scope Lens, Super Luck, Crit Kiss, all the way here. Yawn, Follow Me, Dazzling Gleam, Air Slash. All bulk, all the time. Bold, max HP, looks like 160 defense and 96 special defense. Stole pretty much right from the right for Pikalytics, it looks like.
Yeah, that's real bulky.
And this last one, Slowbro Galar, or G-Bro, as everyone's calling him. Life Orb, Quick Draw, which we found out Quick Draw is a 33% chance. That's now. Or something like that. It's like 30%. It's higher than Quick Claw. So Quick Claw plus Quick Draw is like 44%.
Okay, that's what I saw. That's still not bad odds.
That's not bad odds.
I mean, it's basically a coin flip.
It's better than what it was. But we assumed it was 20 and 20.
Yeah.
Expanding Force, Shell, Sidearm, Trick Room, number 2, and Protect.
I still want this to be a Regenerator.
Yeah, I have a Regenerator shiny.
Where did...
Tommy.
Sure, man.
Thanks, Tommy. Yeah, I have a Regenerator shiny.
That's sweet.
It's really cool.
Wait, Tommy...
that is my only Slowbro. I evolved that one.
I still have not evolved one.
I evolved that one specifically.
I think that shiny is hideous. I don't like it.
It's like pale pink and purple.
I don't like it.
Instead of pink and purple. It's barely noticeable.
I don't like it. I wish it was like Slowpoke where it was solid yellow.
I think that would be cool. That would be cool. But yeah, this team is getting a lot of traction on the Discord. It is very, very cute. The question here, though, I have for you is staying power. Yes or no?
I don't know, man.
What do you think is going to happen, knowing what we know about VGC 20?
Oh, not about this team. Are you what?
I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
Do you think this is going to actually be like a thing?
I think this is real cute.
Well, we established that.
I think the idea of having Runerigus gain huge power is adorable, and like my big problem is I really wish we were not playing with Azurill, but I understand why, because like Aqua Jetting to trigger policy and set this up like is really important for what we're doing. I did the math. After we trigger policy and get our huge power boost, we go to like 644 attack, which if something's living that attack, it you deserve it. You win.
You earned it.
My big problem is I don't really like body press here. I'm assuming we're Dynamaxing, and so we just want to max knuckle. Okay. So I'm assuming that's knuckle. The only fighting move it gets?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's specifically max knuckle, so we can boost our attack even more in the face of Intimidate. Also, body press bases damage off of our defense if we don't get to do our thing.
Okay. So this is really cute. Now that I actually have looked at this and understand what is going on, this is cool.
I know that there is a rental code somewhere in Discord.
It's floating around somewhere.
I will grab it and use it, and probably use that image instead of the one we're looking at right now. But yeah, so that way people can have access to the code for the Pokemon team to play with on rental. Let's see here. What else can we talk about? What else is there? Do anything fun Pokemon wise here lately besides the Hail team?
I finally got my stupid shiny Oddish.
Yay!
And it's only been like 3 months that I've worked on it on and off. I can finally say it took me going to Let's Go, completing the Pokédex to get the shiny charm, to finally get it.
But you have your flower.
I have my beautiful, beautiful flower.
Just in time for it to be obsolete.
Yep, it is unplayable now, but I have it.
Because now we have Lilligant, which kind of does the same thing. Chlorophyll, sleep powder. Fun stuff. Also has After You. Does Vileplume get After You?
No, it gets Pollen Puff, though.
That's cool. I wonder if Lilligant got Pollen Puff.
That's actually one I don't know. That's a mon I always forget exists.
How did you forget it exists when you have to do a quest for it on Isle of Armor to get G-Max Urshifu? You have to go find the Lilligant and take it back to the Petzl.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what on God's green earth are you talking about here? But yeah, see, the story of the DLC was not very good.
No one said it had to be good.
So I just kind of ignored it, and I blocked it out of my mind. That was 3 weeks ago I played it.
So?
Do you legitimately expect me to remember it?
Yes.
Well, that's your own fault. What was I looking up?
Lilligan. Pollen Puff.
I thought I had Showdown open, but evidently not.
We came prepared. Don't worry.
Always.
100%. I don't think we get Pollen Puff. Cool if we do.
We do.
Oh.
How slow are we?
I don't know.
Base 90. So see, Lilligan is worse because it's much worse than under Trick Room.
No, but now we're fast.
Yeah, but it's bad because I want to play Trick Room.
That means you're bad.
Well, I've put an assault vest on a Vileplume before. Do you think I do this because I'm good? You didn't talk me out of it, so...
You're not putting many mons to sleep if you're putting assault vest on you.
Nope, and I got people that week by it. And then the next week I brought it because Uxie was expecting the assault vest variant and I put him to sleep.
Look who's number one.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. Rillaboom is like the most used mon right now.
Looking at Pikalytics now, just like Rillaboom's number one. Togekiss is under it, which not by much, less than 1%.
They do go together very well. Incineroar and Cinderace bringing up the rear here. Porygon 2 and Amoonguss jumped up fast.
Yep.
Both at about 22%. They're literally like 0.02 apart from each other. Because they go hand in hand.
They're so good together, man. Amoonguss is another one that I have not got that I need to.
I need to work on Amoonguss as well.
Well, the worst part is I need to go find my copy of Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, whichever one I have. I can't remember. Because it has my rental team. It has my team from Collinsville and like 17 still locked in it. So I can't transfer it over. And it has my Toad on it. It has my Toad and it has my Amoonguss. I just want them. I want my original Toad, even though it's ugly and green.
I have a nice blue one now. We're going to have one here soon.
Yeah, you need to evolve it.
Yep.
I got my Scyther today. I'm gonna start Horsey either tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully get that done. And then we're gonna start grinding for multiple Porygons.
I'm probably gonna do a Amoonguss in between shiny hunting for a marked Magnemite.
Man, that just sounds rough.
Oh, it's fun. It's better than hatching eggs.
See, that's why I went back to Let's Go's, because I got tired of hatching eggs.
Yeah.
1,200 eggs later, and I was just tired of it.
I fall asleep every time I hatch eggs.
Yep.
It's just doing nothing, going in circles constantly. It's just boring. I'd rather go run into Magnemites everywhere. Plus, I have a chance at getting the Thunderstruck mark, which is going to look awesome on that gold Magnezone.
Agreed. It is a cool thing that doesn't mean anything to me because I'm not going after it. I need to see what's the highest number of ribbons you can get on a thing now.
How far back can you get ribbons? Gen
3?
3? So you can get one from 3. You can get one from 3 unless you play on Emerald.
Because then
you can get more. So I believe you can get 3 on Emerald. Is it 3 on Emerald? Is it Hall of Fame? Oh, no, it's a lot more than 3. It's Hall of Fame, every contest.
I forgot about contests.
Every rank of contest for every type.
Oh, so that's 5. Is there 4 or 5?
There's 4.
And I know there's 4 ranks.
Yeah. There's 5 colors, 4 ranks, so there's 20 right there.
Plus your Hall of Fame is 21. So
plus,
that's...
plus if you want to do Emerald's stuff, you get more there. because you get the battle stuff. And then you go to Gen 4. Gen 4 had contests too, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm assuming 4 ranks or 5 ranks and then 5 types, 5 colors. Or were they not separated that way anymore?
So as of Johnstone has done this for us.
Oh, cool. Someone did the math. I ain't got to do it.
Let's see. According to this, the max number of ribbons you can have on one is 87.
Nice. So 21 from Gen 3 if you just play Ruby and Sapphire. And then Gen 4, Gen 5. Contests were still a thing in Gen 5 too, right?
I don't think so.
So
well, according to this video, which was put out 7 months ago compared to last year, there's 145 ribbons.
Maybe 87 is like the upper limit you can have? I don't know. I'm getting conflicting information.
This is a Delibird that has all of them. Maybe this is just the ones that you can get in Sword and Shield?
I don't think so. Because that's an Alola Champion ribbon.
Oh. Huh.
That's the Battle Royale Master ribbon. Yep.
Battle Tree. Huh.
These are contest ribbons. Hoenn Champion. Kalos Champion.
This Delibird has been all over the place.
Okay,
man.
so 145. 145 is the number you can get. We're just going to go with that one.
I wonder if this is actually legitimate or if someone hacked it.
Probably hacked.
Which is really unfortunate because I really hope it was real, but...
Notably, if we get on transfer, I can take Gen 1, Gen 2, but I have to skip Gen 3, 4, 5. and we can go to, I think we could have gone, we can go to 6 and start there.
If you bring in Pokemon from Gen 1, do they gain ribbons?
I don't know.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Things to look at. Things to think about. Kind of rambling here at the end, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty much out of ideas, so I started looking at ribbons.
Get us out of here.
Let's see. So, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to get notifications for when new videos go live. Usually anywhere from like 2 to 4 times a week. Well, right now it's like 2 or 3.
Yep.
But once we get Draft League going up again here in a couple weeks, that number's going to go up. So make sure you ring that bell to get notifications when new stuff goes live. If you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you go down into the show notes and get that YouTube link and go do all that same stuff as well. To everyone listening, make sure you go and join our community Discord as well. We're getting close to 100 members now, and it's just like, dude, we get new people every week, and it's just absurd how much it grows, and I love it. Let's see. Then we have Twitters. You can find us at LR Lessons. Myself at CardinalNoble25 and Carl at Musical_33. Carl and I are both Twitch affiliates, so if you want to go sub to us on Twitch, we would greatly appreciate that. You can find myself at Mr. Missouri25 and Carl at Musical. Let's see. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Discord.
I think that's it.
I think I'm out of things. I think I'm out of here for this week, everybody. Be back next week. Probably talk some more Pokemon, but we'll figure that out then. Have a good one. Peace.